Hello, friends. Welcome back to DC School of Music. Today we are going to continue with the theory discussions, and we're going to try and explain this in a very easy way. This is kind of the way I've always thought about theory in terms of the way that the scale is presented to you, and that's really how you have to base your thought process. You take the major scale, which is what we're going to do today. Today we're going to start with the C major scale, which is very simply all of the white keys starting from C all the way up to the C an octave above. And then those are 8 notes, but we're only going to talk about 7 because that C is doubled at the octave. So if you quite simply put a number value to each of these notes, which we're going to do, C would be 1, D would be 2, E would be 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7. And that's kind of the way you want to think about the theory that's involved when you're talking about diatonic chord scale theory. Now, diatonic means in the key. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Let's take this one step further. If you look at the diagram below, you can see that the scale is presented, and then we have underneath that a series of triads. So if you put a chord that represents the note C, in this case this would be C major, that would be considered the 1 chord. Okay? The next chord above that would be D minor, that would be the 2 chord. The 3 chord would be E minor, F is the 4, G is the 5, A minor is the 6, B diminished is the 7th, and of course we're back up to the C again. So everything starts over. Um, the way that these notes and chords are arranged is really quite simple if you just think about it in terms of the numbers 1 through 7. Now, as we get further into the discussion of these chords, we're going to talk about how they function within the realm of the key that they belong to. In this case, we're talking about the key of C major. So each of these chords functions and has a functionality within the key that it operates within. Now, for the purposes of learning this key, but also for the purposes of being able to plug this information into any of the other 11 keys, because once you understand it in one key, in terms of the theory and the way the numbers are arranged and the way that they relate back to the key that they belong to, it's the same in all of the other 11 keys. So you just only really need to learn one key and then think about it in a generic fashion. So if you look at the diagram underneath up on the fourth stave down, you'll see the word generic. And next to that, underneath each of the chords, you'll see Roman numerals representing the chords, but those are the numbers. So if we have a C major chord, that would be a Roman numeral 1. The next chord is D minor. That's a Roman numeral 2, and it would be represented by 2 I's, so a small 2. Then we have Roman numeral 3, I. That's the E minor. 4 chord is IV, capital IV for Roman numerals. The 5 chord is V. Then we have a small v and an I, that's 6 for A minor. Then we have for B diminished, we have VII, and there's a little degree symbol, which represents the diminished chord. If you have had an opportunity to look at the 7th chord video that I created, we discuss how you can add notes to each of the originating notes in order to make all of the chords. So if we backtrack just a second here and you take this note C, which is the first note of the C major scale, and we add the third above that, you get the C and the E. That's a major third. So if we just play up just the thirds, you're going to get each of the numbered chord values. Okay, and I skipped through that in the beginning of this video, and we just went right straight to the triad. So we did a root, a third, and a fifth, which gave us the C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B diminished, and so on and so forth. You can add sevenths on top of those, which would be the 7th note in the scale. So for a C major 7, C, E, G, and B. and then the corresponding seventh chords for each of the other 6 values that are represented in the key. All right, so if you have a chance, go ahead and check out that video. That may help you out with the seventh chords, and that will definitely help you out when we talk about these chords and how they work within this diatonic construct. Okay, so getting back to the functionality, we need to talk about the 3 functions of the chord values, and that's pretty much all there are right now at this stage of the process. The first functionality that we talk about is called tonic, and tonic means belonging to the home key, or a feeling or a sense of being home. And what I mean by that is when you hear the chord, it sounds pretty much at rest. Okay, and that's the one chord, that's the C chord, that is tonic. Now there are 2 other tonic chords in the key, the 3 chord, which is E minor, and then of course the 6 chord, which is A minor. Okay, and that's the relative minor of the key. So we have tonic chords C, E minor, and A minor. The next functioning value is called subdominant. Subdominant, there are 2 of those chord values. We have the second chord, the D minor, and then we also have the F major. So those are the subdominant functioning chords in the key. The third value of functionality is called dominant, and there are again 2 other chords, which are the remaining 2 chords. We have G, that's the 5 chord, and then we have the 7 chord, which in this case is B diminished. Those 2 chords function as dominant. Now, as tonic is explained to you as a feeling or a sense of being home or at rest, the subdominant chords, the 2 and the 4, they create a little bit more of a shift in what you hear, and it's not quite a feeling of being at home. It's a feeling of being just a little bit further away. It's a little bit more dissonant sounding, which is a sound that is unlike tonic. Tonic is very consonant, it's very restful, very peaceful. Subdominant is a feeling of being a little bit further away from home. So if you hear a song and it starts on a tonic chord C, and then we go up to the 2 chord, okay, you can feel we've moved a little bit further away from tonic, thus giving us that subdominant functioning chord. The last functionality that we discussed, the third one, is dominant. So if we go to the 5 chord, as it relates back to the first key, the first chord, C, it's the furthest away from home. It creates the most amount of uneasiness in your hearing and in your perception. That is the dominant functionality. It's literally a feeling of unrest. Some people describe it as a feeling of chaos, depending on how much color you add to that. And the color notes are obviously the other tones, the 7s, the 9s, the 11s, and the 13s. So when you hear those types of chords, those just create differing color feels and hearing. So let's get back and recap real quickly here. So you have 3 functionalities. You have tonic, which is the 1, 3, and the 6. The subdominants are D minor and F major. Those are subdominant functioning chords. The last functionality is dominant, which is the G and the B diminished. Okay? So I'm going to play a quick little chord value, a chord progression here for you, which is commonly referred to as a cadence. Now, every song that you're ever going to hear that has structure to it, which is 99% of the songs that you hear, everything on the radio, they all have what is considered a cadence in the actual song. And that's how the feeling of uneasiness is created, and then a feeling of rest, which generally follows the uneasy feeling. And that particular movement in the chord progression is what is considered a cadence. So I'm going to play through a quick cadence here. We'll start on the 1 chord, which is C. Then we'll go to the 4 chord, which is F. Then we'll go to the G, which is the 5. Then we're back to C. So that is a 1, 4, 5, 1 chord progression. and it cycles through the three different functionalities. So one, you're at rest. The 4 chord, not so restful. It's a little bit further away from home. Now the G chord, the 5, it's the most uneasy or most tense. If I was to stop right there and you're listening to the song, you would say, wait a minute, we're not done. What's next? There's something next. Yes, that's correct. You want to hear this next. So you got the 1 chord, then the 4, then the 5, then the 1. Okay? And your ears reset, everything in what you feel feels good. You're back home. Okay? If we were to play a song and go from the C to the F to the G, then back to the F, you can hear this kind of mountainous feeling. What's being created here is we're increasing the value of tension through the functionality of the chords. The 1 chord is at rest, it's tonic. Then the 4 chord is further from home. Then the 5 chord is the farthest from home. But then we're coming back down the mountain. Then we're back home again. So you can hear it kind of goes up and then it comes down. So we have C, F, G, F. Kind of sounds like songs you've heard, doesn't it? Yes. A lot of songs have this chord progression within the song. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for today. Join us for the next video. We're going to continue with the functionality of chords and how they relate to the diatonic major scale. And if you have any questions regarding this subject matter, please put them in the comments below. And remember, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate all the comments that are coming in. And if you have any videos that you're interested in me doing for you, just please put a comment in there, and I'll be sure to get those videos out to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for joining me today. You all have a blessed day. Thank you.